Okay, Claycore and anybody who's listening, sorry about all the trouble there with the stream getting started. It was initially going to be a different stream, but that one fell through. So Claire's just here now. We're just gonna
Hello,
have a.
everyone. Shalom.
Oh my god. We're just gonna have a talk about whatever. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon, so good to have you here. George says, "I'm exploiting the mentally ill." Please don't refer to Claire as mentally ill, George. That's not fair. She's
And he can't prove it.
no. Claire, would you like to tell everybody what you've been up to over the last since the last time I spoke to you? Whilst I checked the audio levels.
I, as usual, pick fights with people online, and which is not to say that I'm always rude. Sometimes I do kind of wait for people to tell me, to find out what their position is. It's been quite a productive morning today because I've found out a whole bunch of things like about George in the chat um, who is promoting Gnosticism of all things. He's just full of rubbish. He does bullshit away. But because he's got the gift of the gab and he talks in this confident, bright eyed way, a lot of naive young men listen to him. And maybe they don't
Hmm.
care. They don't care if it's just entertainment or actual things. And he mixes it up in such a way that maybe some of it does make sense. Maybe some of it is useful. But the best lies are the lies that are sandwiched between lies. And I think George, uh, perhaps he's not really sure what he is doing, but he enjoys the attention that he can easily get being relatively well born and affluent and um, being in a position to give advice on being a PUA. Though I understand that he's currently
Hmm.
single. He is very smug and keeps giving advice to people. But the thing is, even clever, handsome young men um, end up not reproducing, not having wives after um, becoming jaded with their sexual
Hmm.
conquests and being unable to bond with a single woman or being able to stay faithful to her. So I think there are dangers in promiscuity for both men and women if you care about your race, whatever that race may be. And talking about race, I think my problem with bonding with young men is because of my perceived foreignness and my not being a man. But I think even if I were white and male and with a full-time job, I would be destroyed for saying what I'm saying because I think my wife would divorce me, my children would shun me, and that's why you have all these terrified, affluent, middle-class men who could be in the, or who are in fact in the ruling classes, are not saying anything because they are in a state of neurosis, unable to give up what they have worked for so hard over the years for an entire lifetime.
Hmm.
So
Well,
and George, yes.
did you have more to say? Go on, keep shitting on George
Um,
if you want.
well, it's not just George who's neurotic and double-minded. Um, I mean, Duvis is double-minded. Lewis is
Hmm.
double-minded. At least Jack Starn, is obviously mad, and we can, safely ignore him. It's the others who claim to be sane and knowing what's going on, spouting rubbish that is the problem. And I've just listened to Endeavour's stream with Millennial Woes when he came to London to visit him, and it's so
Yes.
so terrible, really, because M- Millennial Woes is packaging what his advice as something new and wise, when all he's saying is cultivate thine own garden, which is the advice Voltaire gave during the French Revolution. or was it before,
Okay.
when everything was falling into chaos and they were saying, well, there's nothing we can do except, try to keep our heads down and survive and keep our jobs, etc. Because really, if everybody thought that, nobody would do a thing. And this brings me on to the subject of the prophets of God, who obviously were successful revolutionaries, or even remembered revolutionaries to those who were executed, because there were a few failed ones, like I think Isaiah was a failed one, and I'm not sure about what happened to Jeremiah. But the whole point is martyrdom.
Okay.
Which
Well,
is a
before we go
Jewish
off,
idea that kind of
okay.
cascaded down to Christians and Muslims.
Before we go from
The
that, let's stick
autism
to
is just off the charts. The
pretty
autism is
much.
just off
I think
the
you understood
fucking-
what I was
No,
saying,
I
George.
called it. I called him when Claire started saying that everyone except Jackstar was mental. Like I had to what? What? Yeah, you're
Claire
right,
definitely is
Claire.
on one today, isn't she?
Jackstar probably is a lot more like the prophet Elijah. Yes, Claire, you're probably right about that.
Well, I think if you people started talking about me as if I were a prophet, it could work. I mean, George is always talking about these sort of crowd scenes in the movies of his mind, and me,
Claire, I told you, I
commanding
think
all
you
these
need to get
people and
more
overturning.
schizo. Yeah, you need to get more schizo though if you want that to happen. You're too analytical. You're too logical. Too much like
The problem, George, is she's autistic. That's the real problem.
That's got something to do with it, I'm sure. The autism is insane, Claire. It's taken a real turn. I mean, you've always been.
Well,
like,
I'm making
mildly
sense.
autistic.
You do understand
not
what you're
making
saying
sense.
and reacting
Claire.
to it.
Claire, you don't make sense. Where have you ever made sense?
Well, secular Quran doesn't make sense because you
No,
all
it doesn't,
reacted
Claire.
to it by rejecting
Claire.
it and saying, no way.
I read
Islam.
your book, Claire, and I dodged past the 300 grammatical errors in there, and I still don't know what secular Quran is. I read all 109
I
pages.
think you knew about
It took me
was.
23 minutes to read 109 pages of your book.
Right,
And
and what can you remember
that with a
about
cigarette
it?
break in between. I had
What
a
can you
cigarette break.
remember about it?
What can I remember about it?
How big is the font?
I remember the 300 grammatical errors,
Right.
several within the opening page.
Can
In
you
fact, there's
remember
even a
a
grammatical
single-
error.
Can
There's
you
an error
remember
on
a
the front
single
cover,
statement?
Claire.
Can you remember a single statement that you disagreed with? Let's have it.
Claire, you said that Judaism was the key for the West, didn't you?
I didn't say that. That's not my form of words. Well, why don't you just
No,
dig
I'm
up a book?
paraphrasing. Sorry, your autism doesn't allow me to paraphrase. I forget.
What is your problem?
You're
with the
shocked.
book?
What's
No,
my
I'm
problem with a
waiting
book
for
that
you
has
to actually
300
quote.
grammatical errors
I'm
and a
waiting for
picture
you
that's
to quote.
more
I'm
fuzzy than
waiting for
a
you to
blind
quote.
man?
I am waiting for you to quote a sentence that you disagree with.
Claire,
Are you
calm
able
down.
to do that?
Are you able to
do
calm
that?
down and compose yourself first, Claire?
I'm waiting for you to quote a sentence of mine that you disagree with.
Well, rather than quote a sentence, Claire, I'm going to tell you a little tale. Is everybody ready for my tale across the 7 seas?
Aye.
Well, it was a long time ago, many moons ago. We were sailing off the coast of Troontugra Bay, and there was a mutiny. My lead captain, Johnny Pegleg, had decided that he was going to cause a mutiny upon my ship. So he challenged me. It was midnight. I'd had 3 bottles of rum, and I was on a large mug of grog. I was feeling wavy, so to speak. Yeah, see the pun there. And he comes up to me. He hobbles over with his peg leg, and he says, "Captain Pebblebeard, I challenge your authority." And I said, "Well, I will meet your challenge with a fight to the death." So we pulled out our cutlasses, and we engaged in a 4-hour-long fight. Shut up, Claire. Shut your dog mouth. Shut your dog mouth, Claire. So he pulls out his cutlass. I pull out my cutlass. What begins is an epic boss fight. He jabs at me. I block him. I parry his blade with me hook hand, and then I ran him through the gut with me cutlass, straight in his gut. And I leaned into him and I said, "Was it worth it?" And he said, "Tell me one thing, Captain. Tell me one thing. Tell me why there is a Facebook
We're not
page.
your children.
Why is there a
You read
Facebook
a
page called
story.
Autistic Parents Against Claire Core? Why do you want autistic children to die, Claire? What's that about?
It wasn't mentioned in the
Stephen,
book.
can we pull up?
Why
Can we
don't
pull up
we
this
just-
Facebook
Why,
page?
why can't you just quote
Pull up
the
the
same
Facebook
thing in the
page.
book that you
Let's
disagree with?
pull up the Facebook page. Claire, why is there a whole Facebook page dedicated to your crusade against autistic children?
I
What
see
is that?
You're not actually wanting
What
to
is
discuss
that about,
secular
Claire?
Quranism because you can't find anything wrong with
Claire,
it.
why do you
That's
want
why you want
autistic
to bring
children
up
to
all the
die?
irrelevant
They're one of your
crap.
own kind. What is it about disabled children you don't like, Claire? You can yawn all you want. You can do my bit to you all you want, but it still doesn't stop the existence of this Facebook page, does it now, Claire? Oh, you sleepy, Claire? You tired? You're tired of existing, Claire? I think we should pull up that Facebook page, Stephen. I think we should have a good
So-
read of the Facebook page.
Quranism.
So
relevant to you, though.
unfortunately, because I don't have a Facebook account, I can't actually pull it up.
I'm sure we can have
Oh.
one of the artists screenshot the page for
must be
us.
so disappointed. Now,
Well,
go-
it still
go-
exists,
go-
Claire. I'm not
You've read the
disappointed.
book,
I just
why
want to know
didn't
why
Look,
you
why
hate
didn't you
It's
say-
here
disabled
on
children.
Google. The top result there: disabled people against Claire Court. It's a Facebook group with over 100 people in it.
Whoa, that's like a
What?
lot of people.
It's a very
That's a lot of
old
people, Claire.
Facebook group.
Yeah, but
Well, you're a
why
very
do-
old
why-
woman, aren't you, Claire?
Why
Well,
do
it
you hate
means I'm
the
very wise. It means I'm very wise.
Because so why do you hate disabled people?
I don't hate them.
Specifically,
Well, they
It's
children.
hate you.
rumors spread about
They've got a
me.
whole group about it. What do you mean?
Well, I think you know the story behind Jessica Toms, who calls herself disabled because I believe she just pretends to suffer from Tourette's.
No,
She was
Claire
the one who
Court.
called
You
the cops on me.
okay? For the record, when we're not going there, you've already had a Dawn raid for accusing this woman of being a faker. I wish to apologise for any offence actually directed towards this lady by Claire Core, and know that we don't condone it here at the SJJ channel. Thank you very much.
We don't condone the death of disabled children here, Claire. The answer for your crimes,
That's just
Claire.
like the most extreme. I knew secular Quranism was nuts, but the wanting to murder
Oh,
all
I
the
mean,
disabled
wait
children is like
until-
a new level. I mean, I haven't read the book, but now all
Wait
I know
until
is
you
I
hear
don't
the part
mention
where, like,
disabled
Claire
children.
Carl-
I deny having ever proposed a government policy of extermination, but this is some rumor that my detractors want to pretend is what
Claire,
I said.
I have seen the tweets made by your own account where you are justifying infanticide and you think that children should be killed. I've seen
Oh,
them.
There is already a procedure called child euthanasia, and it is being practiced in Belgium. What is
Is
your
it now?
Claire,
Yes.
Claire, I was just thought I wanted to remark on this. You've told Jack Star multiple times to kill himself. Do you think is that like part of secular Quranism to kill mentally ill people, Claire? Is this part
Just
of your
for
ideology?
the YouTube algorithm, we will say that we disavow any inclinations towards suicide. That's something that we mustn't advocate
Yes,
for
yes,
on
we
YouTube.
disavow, but like Claire,
Speak for
do you-
yourself, you collective scum. Speak for yourself.
Claire, do
No,
you
so
advocate the
if-
death of mentally ill schizophrenics? Claire?
Absolutely
I have
not. She will
never
not do that on this channel.
proposed-
Absolutely
I
not.
have never proposed the
You
extermination
said-
of the mentally
You said
ill.
you said,
No,
and
didn't.
I-
well, if you
you
can
said,
find
and
it.
you said, and I quote, "Why doesn't someone just kill Jack shit?" What did you mean by that, Claire?
I meant, why doesn't somebody remove him from your Telegram group?
Because
That's
he's
a
like
little different than
prophet.
killing him, isn't it? That's a little different than killing him, Claire.
Well, obviously, I don't propose the actual extermination of Jack Star. Obviously, I
Thank
was only
God.
proposing his removal from the Telegram group
Why?
because he was a bore and he talked nonsense.
But you're a bore, Claire. What are you talking about? You
You
make
bought
paint
my
dry
book.
quicker when you talk. Yes,
and you
it was
always
hilarious.
come on when I'm on. So
Yes, I do,
you
Claire.
do have
You're
a
you're the
fixation on
punchline to
me.
me joke, Claire. Have you not gathered that yet?
You dedicated your YouTube channel to me. Thank you for that.
Have I? Is
Pebblebeard.
it called the Claire Core Dedication Channel? Is that what it's called, Claire?
Yes.
Yes.
It's all about
Okay.
me.
Is it?
And-
I'm pretty
and
sure
my
it's all about
scheming
Vincent
partner,
Bruno and
Vincent
John
Bruno.
Vance, Claire. You're a side character.
Are you now ready to quote a sentence in secular Quran that you
Are
have
you now ready
identified
to
as
explain why there's a
incorrect or
Facebook group with 100
illogical
people who
or
say you want
immoral?
disabled children dead, Claire? Are you ready to explain
I
that one?
don't mention disabled children in secular Quranism. Since you have
No,
read
you
the
don't.
book, perhaps you would like to quote a sentence that you disagree with, Pebblebeard.
I'll do that. The moment you explain why you want disabled children to die, and there's a Facebook group about it.
I have never said that. I deny ever saying that.
Well, there's 100 angry mothers who beg to differ.
Well, they like to pretend that I said and have done all kinds of terrible things because they don't like secular Quranism. And it seems
Is that what it
you
is, Claire?
reinforce this with
Really?
Mum's net.
Claire, is this kind of like how you said you didn't organize a gay gangbang with Vincent Bruno, but then you did, and there's audio of it, and even a little video of it?
I have never met Vincent. As I have explained, he's complaining that he can't organize these things in the home of his husband.
What the fuck?
Claire,
Just that
there's
sentence alone
hundreds
is
of
enough.
hours. There's
Driving
hundreds of
pickaxe
hours
through
of
my
music.
brain.
You said if a secular Quranist state was to arise, that Vincent Bruno could have gay orgies viewed by 4 people.
She did.
I said
It's true.
that under secular Quranism, anyone, heterosexual or homosexual or lesbian, caught cottaging or having sex or performing indecent acts on each other in a public place would be prosecuted as a sex offender. That is
But
how
you
it
would
would
let
be.
them organize. You said you'd let them organize
But-
daily sex shows.
Well, this sort of thing would only be possible in licensed brothels in red light districts.
Okay. So you let people have a license for degeneracy. How English.
Well, I imagine there would be sex shows and brothels in red light districts.
So how
What
does
are
this
they
cure
for?
degeneracy, Claire? How is this a solution to degeneracy?
No. The degeneracy is caused by all these women who are neither prostitutes nor wives giving sex to men who are not their husbands. This
You
is
propose that
the
we legalize prostitution.
absolutely. And I'm saying that the Quran actually tolerates slavery and prostitution.
The
So you're
Quran tolerates
pro-slavery.
a lot of things, like having sex with 9-year-olds, which we don't exactly like to tolerate.
No, it doesn't mention sex with 9-year-olds. It's an Islamophobic trope that has an Islamophobic.
How old was Muhammad's wife, Claire? How old was Muhammad's wife, Claire?
Claire, is it a
I wasn't there.
Did it happen or not?
Yes, you were, Claire.
I have
Don't
no
lie.
idea. I wasn't
You were
there.
a young woman when that was happening, weren't you, Claire?
I
You
have
remember it
no
fondly.
idea. I wasn't there.
I bet.
We lost you, Captain Bellbeard.
What a relief.
The seas are taking him.
It is convenient though. It is gonna like the serious question. It is well known, isn't it, about the age of Aisha? Is it?
Yes.
Claire?
Everyone knows that. I don't think that's a trope, to be honest.
Well,
Claire's going to
the
conveniently
state of
say, look, I don't
Delaware
know.
in the United States had an age of consent of 7. What do you say to that,
when?
American Lewis?
What the hell?
When was that?
Why do you sound so angry, Claire? What's with the anger and aggression in your voice?
I'm just making a point that the state of Delaware in the United States had
State of Tupperware? What are you talking about?
had an age of consent of 7.
When was that, Claire?
Apparently until 1972 or something. It's a complicated history, but the age of consent in Delaware was at some time 7.
This makes my
Isn't
take
that
more.
interesting?
Seriously.
Are you pro
That's
this, Claire?
epic, to
Do you
be
think this
honest.
is acceptable behavior?
That's epic.
I think marriage should be
Disgusting.
considered a contract, and only people of full legal capacity should be able to make contracts with each other.
Is
And
a
I would suggest
9-year-old
the
of
age
legal
is 18.
capacity? Yeah, I know, but like, did Muhammad believe that?
I have no idea.
Well, he married a 9-year-old, so probably.
Yeah, probably
Well,
not.
Delawareans could marry children as young as 7, so why are Americans huffing and puffing over Muhammad marrying some 9-year-old? Nobody at the time thought it was a crime.
Claire, the Chattertain, you need to walk the plank for your degenerate behavior, your beliefs.
Well, I think Delawareans have something to answer for.
Do they?
Yes,
But they weren't
I
around,
believe
Claire. They weren't
Biden-
alive in 1972,
Biden
Claire.
is from Delaware, is he not? Is that why he's such a dirty old man?
I think you seem to be avoiding the question of why you want disabled children to die, Claire.
That is
I
very
deny
strange.
it completely. I never said. I have never proposed.
Well, 100 angry
governments-
Facebook
No,
mothers beg to
I think
differ,
I'm
Claire.
still waiting for you to.
Claire,
a single
did you
sentence in
defend
secular
Jimmy
Quranism
Savile,
that you
Claire?
disagree
Tell me this
with.
isn't true. Claire, did you defend Jimmy Savile?
No,
Oh
I
my
said
Well, why
he has never
is
been
Chad saying
convicted in a court of law,
So he's innocent?
only in the court of public opinion. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to show how fair-minded I am, even to
Yes.
people like Jimmy Savile.
You hear this, Chad? When it comes to pedophilia, Claire is very, very clear-minded. She's
I'm
open-minded
noticing a
to it.
pattern here, Claire. Noticing a bit of a pattern.
What pattern?
I don't know, just Muhammad, Jimmy Savile. What do you think of Epstein?
I'm more interested in the people who were on his guest list and what's going to happen to them. Is there going to be a court case or whatever?
But why though? They're just living the trad life with their 16-year-old trad wives. I don't see if they did anything wrong, to be honest.
What are you talking about now? Trad wives invited to Epstein Island? Are you talking about that?
Yes. I think what they did on Epstein's Island was very traditional, very trad of them. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't
I
know what
disavow.
went on.
I
don't know what
disavow
went
this
on.
stream. I disavow.
Me too.
So are we not talking about what Pebblebeard disagreed with in secular Quranism?
I think he
I
disagrees
disagree with the whole book.
genocide. I think he disagrees with the genocide of autistic children.
Well,
but you know,
we do have a
Well,
we
I
do
never
have
said
a
that.
we do have a clip. We could just watch this short clip, and then it could be a product for discussion. So let's just take a look at this.
About, gay brothels and gay sex shows that are Sharia compliant. You have fun.
what the
Shocking.
heck?
You didn't get the beginning of the sentence.
Straight out of
or
the Mongolian
context.
horse's mouth, right there.
What the
Did you get the beginning of the sentence? It wasn't the
Yeah.
beginning of the sentence, was it? And there is no context.
Well, the context was you want there to be gay sex shows with Vincent Bruno.
No, I can't.
Isn't it
remember
true?
what
And on a
Vincent and I were
serious
discussing,
note, on a
but I have
serious
said
note, you find
repeatedly. I have said repeatedly.
on a serious note,
that
you find common
getting
cause.
caught
Hold
courting
on.
would-
Hold on. You find common cause with Vincent because he is also a marginalized guy. He's like extra, like an outcast in society. Okay, and so you want him to like promote your ideas, and kind of in exchange, you're saying to him, you'll give like people like him sanctuary within your ideology, won't you?
Well, I'm saying that if he were to become the first American gay secular Quranist, he would shame all the heterosexual white nationalists who have been mocking him for so many years.
Have you ever considered that that just like
How?
might be adding an afro to his clown makeup? Claire,
What?
Claire, have you ever considered that that might be like not that might not
On the
result in
stream.
that at all?
Well, I wouldn't mind hearing some coherent argument from you lot, but
Well, I wouldn't mind a punctuated book that didn't have 300 grammatical errors, but we live in
why
reality,
didn't you
Claire.
quote a sentence that you disagree with? I'm very happy that
Well,
it seems
Claire, you didn't
can't
use any
even do
commas or
that
full
level
stops
yet.
in your 109 pages of size 52 font, so I can't quote a sentence because we'd be here for 25 minutes, Claire.
No, just one that you disagreed with.
Well, the whole book is one
You
long
said you read
sentence,
it twice,
Claire.
did you? Did you say you read
No.
it twice?
No, I
Speaking
didn't
of
read it
Vincent
twice,
Bruno.
Claire.
Did you
I'm not a
read it once?
lunatic. I'm
Did
not
you
a
read it
lunatic,
once?
Claire. Yes, I read it.
Okay, so somebody I know read it once and gave me a list of the typos, and then
Well,
then read
300
it
of
a
them.
second time.
The list is
and
longer
said it
than the
was
book
very
itself,
good.
Claire.
So I think you need to read it a second time.
I think he was lying to you, Claire. I think he was lying to you because he felt bad after he read a retarded woman's book and realized there was 300 grammatical errors in it.
Are you going to cite anything that is factually incorrect?
No, I'm just going to call you a retarded woman and tell you had 300 grammatical errors in your book, Claire.
Right. Well, we'll carry on. But in the meantime,
I
you
will carry
cannot-
on. I'll do whatever I want, Claire. How about that?
Indeed, you will carry
Indeed.
on lying.
Yes, most
You
indubiously.
will carry on lying and carry on not being able to quote a single sentence in my book.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Claire. I will read the entire book on a live stream for the whole world to hear. How about that?
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank
Claire.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Holy
And we
shit,
can
Lewis
pause
Wayne,
on
what are you
every
doing?
single grammatical error. I have to disavow Lewis Wayne right now.
Yes.
I've got to go.
Oh my god, dude. Bye, Captain Pebblebeard. Lewis Wayne.
Do you have an issue with my profile picture? I think it's pretty epic, honestly.
Actually, no. Vincent actually did a what was it called? A collage of me with him on Facebook.
What?
And
Claire, I'm
tagged
gonna
me.
Claire, I'm
Weird.
gonna send you something on Telegram and DMs. I want you to look at it, and I want your live reaction to this. All right.
I think I've already
She's-
seen it.
She's already seen it.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you think of that, by the way, Claire?
I believe that's how gay men go about, say, soliciting sex from each other, isn't it?
Just so the audience know. What would it be called? How would we describe this?
Do you want me to read it out?
classif-
Do you want me to read it out for your audience?
A classified ad was discovered being posted by Vincent in various Telegram groups, along with photographs, fully nude and erect, and that's about as much as I want to say about it.
Here, I'll read it
Oh,
out.
yeah,
for them.
I'm aware that this is how gay men solicit sex
40-year-old
from each other.
master/daddy for no limit sub. I'm nasty, dirty, kinky. You need to be absolutely no limits. I want love only, long-term relationship only, even if only online. Let's have pictures. Any age. I'm sick and twisted, but very loving and emotional. I want dedicated only who can spend lots of time with me online. There's a full thing for your good audience.
Well,
For the record as well, we're not here to just shame Vincent egregiously. He kind of he was confronted about this, he acknowledged it and said he was proud of it and said, fine, share it. So,
Yes. Yes, this is the cropped version of the pic. I'm sure you guys can imagine what the uncropped version looks like.
Hey, yo, what's up? Lewis, my boy.
Oh. Hello, Link. We're discussing secular Quranism right now. Lincoln, do you want to ask Claire anything about this ideology?
Claire, why the fuck are you retarded?
I don't accept that I'm retarded. I think you guys are retarded and degenerate.
Your voice is so British. I don't even know what to say.
Didn't say anything.
Welcome to the stream, Link. Your first time on the SJJ show. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
To be honest, I think Link's probably in a drug coma right now.
Nah,
Okay.
I ain't in a drug coma right now. I would say that the number one thing you should think about me is I'm used to doing a lot of drugs. I've done a lot of amphetamines, cocaine, opioids, benzodiazepines, barbiturates, gabapentoids, cannabinoids,
forbid.
alcohol, kratom,
Holy shit.
nicotine, and the list keeps going. Psychedelics,
This-
dissociatives,
Oh my
you know,
God.
just
What
just
the?
substituted cathinones, you know,
He
just a
comes
lot
from the
of
That's
cube,
epic
right?
right there,
He comes from
Mascaria.
the cube.
Claire,
He
that's
comes from the
epic.
Why?
cube.
Could I ask, why? Why are you doing so many
That's
drugs,
epic,
dude? What,
honestly.
what
It's
has
Just
epic.
happened?
it's just because, you know, when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, you know, I just wanted to have fun, and you know, I just kind of went on some benders and some binges and experimented with things, and you know, sometimes when you experiment with your body and substances, you get new results.
And how old
So-
are you now?
I'm 21, bro.
21 and you've done all that shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy
Sounds
fuck.
pretty epic. Sounds pretty trad, I think.
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
very trad. And me and Kurt were talking
What?
about this the other day. That's about as trad as you can get. Most of human history, people have been fucked up, intoxicated. They work drunk.
Yeah,
They'd be on
yeah.
opium. They'd be on deliriums. Everything. What do you think witchcraft is? Witchcraft in the
No.
Bible is literally a bunch of drugs.
So, no offense.
Okay, I
just
think
call
I'm
me out.
superfluous here. So I'll
No, you're
leave
not.
now and you can talk
Stick
about
around.
drugs and
Clay, you and I are going to carry on talking in a moment. Okay. These guys go, don't rush off. Link, call me out on this, but if I'm mistaken, but is it because
You
you're
heard
black?
it first, guys.
Is this
Stephen
natural
J.
among
J.
Nah, it ain't because I'm
Is this
black.
the norm
I literally grew up
among
in
black
an all white.
culture?
I literally grew up in an all white environment. My mom is an West African immigrant. She's not an African American. I have no slave blood in me. I grew up in an all white
But
environment.
I'm asking,
upper middle class.
is this like a product of black culture? You're saying it's not because of that. This is
No, it has nothing to
Just
do with
no-
black culture. It just,
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, it's more so to do with like Pacific Northwest culture, Oregon culture, because Oregon's a drug state.
holy shit.
You guys heard it
Yeah,
here
and-
first. Stephen
And
J.
Oregon is
James
like no
supports
black people, dude.
drugs.
Oregon's only 3% black, but it has tons and tons of illegal drug use and legal drug use, just because you know it's just a druggy state.
You're talking to somebody who is, by the way, straight edge and zero drugs. don't
Yeah,
drink
yeah,
Stephen J.
I
James
figured.
alcohol.
loves drugs. He loves orgies. You heard it first, gentlemen.
But
he
hey,
loves getting
but hey,
wasted.
all I'm saying in my defense is that barbiturates and benzos and dissociatives and prescription opioids and amphetamines are pretty fun. Just saying.
That's quite
Of
a
course,
fucking
we
list.
of course we wouldn't advocate for drug use here. The channel is absolutely against recreational drug
Oh,
use.
Link, have
Oh,
you
I
considered
forgot.
the
I
baby
forgot
you
listening
need?
to another class. First generation antihistamines. This is another class of drugs I've abused.
Link, have you considered
can
that
abuse-
maybe you need secular Quranism to straighten out your life? Have you ever considered that?
Yeah,
Lincoln?
I think so, Lewis. You're right. I'm very lost in my life, and I think I need secular Quranism to root out the degeneracy in my life. Thank you, Lewis, for introducing me to it.
See, Claire, there's your potential student right here. Teach him.
Yeah, exactly.
teach
Teach me secular Quranism. I've been immersed into degeneracy, and I need to be helped by the teachings of the Quranic law.
I'm not interested in morons and vegetables and bottom feeders, losers and degenerates.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I'm asking for help. I need your Quranic law to rescue me.
Well, there's no Quranic law, it's just a proposal. So how did you meet Stephen? Through the cube?
Yeah.
Why were you invited into the cube?
I was invited into the cube because I had friends in the cube, like JD and Amy.
Are they degenerates and drug users too?
JD isn't a drug user. Amy's done like a little bit of drugs, but not that much.
So you know each other from school or something?
Nah. We just knew each other from another group chat a long time ago, Jordan, mate, called the Meth Squad.
Oh, Meth Squad, I knew that. Is
Yeah.
is it still around?
No, I don't think so. Amy, I met through Meth Squad, and then JD. I didn't meet through Meth Squad. JD came after Meth Squad. I met JD through this group chat called the Helium Addicts. Amy was in there too. But anyways, I mean, like, to be honest, like I don't do a ton of drugs anymore. I drink, like, somewhat. I mostly just take Kratom nowadays because Kratom kind of stabilizes me out, and I drink
Serious
every once
question
in a
though.
while.
That's an opioid analog, isn't it? So is that addictive?
No, Kratom's not an opioid. It's a cousin of the coffee plant, but it has some chemicals in it that work on serotonin and opioid receptors. But
Are you addicted to anything? Have you become
yeah, I would
addicted?
say red vein kratom I'm dependent on. But besides red vein kratom, I'm not dependent on anything.
How do you have to take that?
I just swallow the capsules. Yeah. Red
Okay.
vein kratom I'm dependent on, and then everything else I'm not dependent on. I drink alcohol once in a while. Sometimes I'll like buy like a pack of cigarettes and just smoke through them. But yeah, besides like occasional drinking nowadays, I don't really binge drink anymore like I used to. So yeah, that's kind of my
Well, I
situation.
mean, look, on a serious note, I'd like to give you the advice. As somebody who's only 21, you can get off this shit for good. You don't have to be dependent on anything. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you can just get yourself off it by tapering off of anything. Okay,
Right.
so you just halve the dose every few days and taper yourself fucking off it and decide to put it behind you and not be dependent upon fucking drugs. You don't have to be dependent, dude.
Well, the reason I use kratom was more so to control my cravings for other things, because before kratom, I was kind of like a drinker and pill popper and snorter. Like, you don't like kratom gives me a lot of the control that I would naturally lack, if that makes sense.
Do you have any plans
Are
for
you
the future, Link? What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, I'm gonna try to become a plumber.
Oh, I'm surprised. Oh, well, that sounds quite positive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not nihilistic about my future. I mean, I went from being a binge drinker and pill popper and coke snorter and amphetamine user to like all the way to just like fucking kratom use, which I would argue is pretty good.
Fentanyl, have you tried that? You must have.
Oh God, no, fuck no, I would not do fentanyl.
Why not?
Well, that shit's deadly as hell.
Hmm.
Was it
Fentanyl and its
because of,
analogs are like the only drugs I would not do.
well, you have your standards, Link.
Yeah.
So look,
There's-
the title of this, I was going to say the title of the stream initially was Advice for Young Men with Claire. We were going to talk about a specific topic. So I thought, Link, right? Here's a good question for you. You're 21 now with all this in your history. If you were to give yourself advice at, say, 13 years old, what would you have told yourself back then?
13. I mean, that was way before I got into this shit. What do I tell myself at 13?
Imagine you end up in a time, you find a time
Right.
machine, you travel back in time, you meet yourself. What would you tell yourself?
I would say stay away from your phone. Don't go to the weird science and tech school your parents want to put you in for freshman year. Just go to the regular high school. It'll be a lot better for your social life. Don't try to get involved in political communities on your phone. Just drop them, and even if it's painful, just force yourself to socialize and talk to women and talk to friends instead of like waiting for them to come to you and getting into the worst crowd possible.
Lame.
Because that was a lot of my problem, is that I kept myself socially isolated until I was like 17, 18, right? That's kind of when it changed. But when I was 17, 18, 19, and even parts of 20, I had stopped my social isolation, but I'd stopped it basically by being part of the worst crowds possible, if that makes sense.
It's interesting that none of your advice to yourself at 13 would be to avoid any of the drugs.
Yeah, because that was way before they even happened, and I know the there's causality to it, so I would try to stop some of the causality, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So what I'm doing is it kind of tactical in the long run.
Mm. In some ways, you do regret it though, even though it was fun at the time. Would that be right?
Yeah, you could say it depends on what specific instance you're talking about. There are obviously some experiences that I think are just objectively fun and good experiences to have. There's some that I'm like, damn, like that was kind of like shitty. Like my October 2022 binge, that was fucking nightmarish. But yeah, it just depends.
This is real.
And Lewis Wayne, you
Yes.
are
Yes, Daddy.
19 still, are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My
Okay,
God.
Lewis Wayne, tomorrow you find a time machine and you get to travel back to when you were 12 years old. What advice do you have for little Louis?
Skip the comics and go straight into philosophy.
You know what?
Okay.
That's fair. That's
Law
fair.
school? Did you say law school, Lewis?
No,
No,
hell,
no.
fuck that. Hell no.
You know, he's saying skip the comics and go straight into philosophy.
And he's saying that from behind an anime avatar, by the way.
No, this isn't anime. This is Scott Pilgrim. I
Hey,
hope you
hey,
know
but-
it's
but-
not a-
Philosophy is
But
shit,
to be fair, anime is great. There's a lot of great anime shows.
okay, first off, this is not an anime avatar. This is Scott Pilgrim. I have you know, this is a Western show with Western
Yeah.
animators. Has
Is that a
nothing to
Western
do with
3,000-year-old
anime or
woman?
manga. No, that is a Western
Well-
23-year-old woman.
Well, I personally
Okay.
like my anime 12-year-olds 3,000 years old.
Disavow that statement. Absolutely. Strike that from the record.
It's so real, Lincoln. It's so real.
Okay, well, I'm off if you're.
All right, boys. I'm going to talk to Claire now. Been fun.
Oh,
Thanks
by
for
the way,
coming.
everyone should tune into the Cube live stream. We're going to be talking to John Vance about sissifying Stephen J. James later today. You guys should all tune in for that. It'll be a banger live stream.
Amazing. Thanks for coming, Link.
does
It's
it-
been real.
Yep.
You can come back, by the way. You were an interesting guest.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alright.
Yeah, we can talk about my past other time as long as it doesn't get too far into like, shit. But we can.
Yeah, at least you're coherent. You can have a sensible conversation. I'm sure even Claire appreciates that, don't you, Claire? Really?
Well, it's very positive that he has a career in mind, an occupation, a trade.
Mm. Yeah, like I don't want to just be like a drug, user as my entire legacy. It was a part of my life, I think, that I was just kind of going through tough times, and
Mm-hmm. Well, all
All
the
right, dudes.
best, man.
Yep. Speak to you another time.
all right, have a nice night.
All right.
So
Claire
what
Cor-
did he mean about sissifying you? What is all these words?
Oh my
All-
god, it's ridiculous. Lewis Wayne is playing into John Vance's fantasies. We don't know what's happened to John Vance in the last couple of weeks. He's become a tranny chaser. He's expressing sexual fantasies about me.
Oh,
Yes. I've tried to play them down. We don't know how much of it is just
attention seeking.
attention seeking, yes. So it's weirded me out a bit, to be honest. So I just don't know what to say about it. But so Lewis Wayne was making fun of me. I don't think they're actually streaming live about me. God forbid. If so, it'll just be John Vance making an absolute fool of himself on the internet.
I mean, I get it that everybody wants a bit of attention from time to time, and Colin was saying about him that he adopted Islam for the wrong reasons. because he wanted he was using it to get attention. That was always his thing. He became a member of this Canadian Nationalist Party to get attention. He became a secular Quranist to get attention. And actually, he was quite revealing when he said, "I got more attention when I said I was a tranny chaser than all the other things I used to do combined."
I
Do you
think that's a
remember
good
him saying that?
observation, actually. Yeah, you're right about that.
So that's all he
Yeah.
ever, wanted, attention. And
Well, I mean, it's understandable for somebody like John, who probably is a low achiever in life, isn't it? He's
well, I
probably
don't think he's
achieved
stupid.
little.
I
Yeah,
think
he's not
he's actually
stupid.
got it. Yeah, but I suppose he's given up on trying. I mean, he obviously has political views
The question
which he wants
is,
to
how do you
express.
excel? How do you excel as somebody who hasn't been able to excel in a field of intellectualism or anything like that? So, for whatever reason, you're not, I don't know, you're not at the cutting edge of giving your takes on things and stuff, and you've
Well,
not
I think
excelled in another realm. Well, like for me, for instance, I knew I was never going to be an intellectual, so I focused all my energy into sports, and I excelled at sports, and that was how I managed to feel relevant in the world. Okay. For other people, they never find an actual niche, and they end up on the internet spinning plates and looking for somewhere where they can stand out from the crowd, where they can be noticed and seen as somebody relevant, not just part of the background noise.
And the only way they can do that is by being mean to other people.
That is a part of it. That's where much of trolling culture comes from, I suppose. At the deep root of being a troll on the internet is getting like
One over somebody else.
getting one over on somebody, getting attention, just getting a response. I think particularly for Zoomers, growing up as a Zoomer or a late millennial, it can be very hard to get any kind of response from like the hum, the noise, the white noise, the vast ocean of the internet, in which you're just drowned out by the sea of voices and stuff. And so everybody's looking for a way to get attention, be heard, be seen amongst the crowd. And just, there's also some kind of existential level to it, I believe, where you just like are poking at the world, like trying to get any kind of reaction from it whatsoever, to discover that it's like not a simulation, that you can affect the world in some way. And some people go too far and poke it too much, and then they don't like the reaction that they get back.
Oh
Or
yes,
some people lash out.
I mean, when you're in your teens and your 20s, what you're trying to do is come to terms with your own limitations compared to your ambitions and what people think you should be achieving. And when you find it impossible or unlikely, people get despondent and angry and bitter, particularly when they realize they've been lied to.
The bar of entry as well is so much higher and more difficult for anybody today to just get noticed. And especially as a young man, as a young white male in today's world, you are I can't even explain. You are the lowest of the low, basically, aren't you, in terms of society?
Yes, I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong because, well, if, on the one hand, your matriarchy is saying that you're responsible for all the ills of the world, And if you are indeed responsible, you have to fix it. And if you want to fix it, you will have to be given some kind of status and moral authority to do it. But if you dare not say anything or do anything, then you won't be able to fix it.
Mm.
And
Look, it
that
was
is why it is wrong. And I'm saying it as somebody who isn't white or male, that it is wrong that you're at the bottom of the heap with no one to look after you, no one to represent your interests. Now what I find shocking really is that your fathers don't seem at all keen to represent your interests. They're kind of pretending, I don't know. But there is a problem that nobody wants to discuss, and they can't say, oh, the media is stopping us. It's like there's nothing stopping father and son from talking about stuff. And it seems, according to Thomas Barton
Like
Lees,
what?
that these conversations are impossible.
like what in particular?
Well, it's this talk of boomers. I noticed that the people in National Conservatism, it's a YouTube channel, but it's been run by this Israeli academic who is supposedly right wing, but basically, is kind of trying to be mainstream. But anyway, there's a lot of talk about boomers and their boomer parents and what boomers have been doing and what, with the implication that what the boomers have done is operate a secret scorched earth policy for their children to find when they finally pop their clogs. That's what boomers
Wow.
have been doing, haven't they?
What? I don't exactly understand. You mean they're deliberately destroying the world?
And refusing to acknowledge it and saying, swinging 60s,
I don't think any of them are
sex
doing it
revolution,
deliberately.
Great. And when you want to confront them, they'll say, it's not our problem. Nothing to do with us. It's you. You can't do anything.
Look, I don't think it's been done deliberately. I don't think anybody's selling their children down the river on purpose.
They're spending their
They-
inheritance. They make jokes about it. I've spent your inheritance. I fucked you up.
Hold on, we have a guest. Just a moment.
Hurrah! It is me, the real Claire Cole. This is an imposter. This is imposter Claire. She's been running around pretending to be me for the last 9 years. I'm not having it no more.
He's boring.
Claire, you
know
are not
who he
me.
is.
You are not me, Claire. You run around with my name, pretending to be
Okay,
me.
I'm off.
You
Bye.
pretend to be
Okay,
me,
Claire.
Claire. You're
No,
not me.
stay.
You're not
Hold
me,
on.
Claire. You're fake.
Thanks
You're
for
fraud.
coming.
You're fraud, Claire. That's why there's 300 grammatical errors in my book.
Oh
Because
my
you're
god.
fraud.
You made it leave.
It's fake me. This real me. This real click call. This is the real click call here.
Claire,
That's
come
fake.
back.
No, that's that fake me. Don't have fake me. You got
What a
real
s-
click call now.
What a stream.
The real
Well, the real
click
Claire
call.
call.
Yeah, the
Oh my
real
god.
one. That one fake Claire.
No.
See how she don't even sound Mongolian like me? I'm real click call.
Well, it's been fun. Thanks for coming.
We should
Appreciate
kill
it.
all disabled children. We should kill all disabled children. That's me, real click call. That's why
For the
I believe.
record, this channel disavows any of that. I'd like to just apologize to anybody for any kind of offense that they may have received or experienced during this. We obviously don't agree with any of this stuff. I don't know what happened during this stream. It was a shit show from start to finish, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. They're occasionally going to happen. I blame Lewis Wayne, okay? And I think you all do too. So direct your anger and hatred to him, especially if he does that stream with John Rance later today. I don't know what happened. Anyway, this one's over with. Put this one in the dustbin. See you later.